Hello, welcome back. I'm Claire, this is Purple Poppy, and today we are working on part 2 of the April Journal Monthly. Okay, so last week I showed you my very soft cover for this one, and we used 3 envelopes to make this Z fold base that we covered with paper. And while you've been gone, I've folded the pages for my signature. Obviously you know how to do that, so I'm not going to bore you by doing it with you, but I just thought I would tell you what I did. So I used 1, 2, 4 pages of the kit, 2 with the flowers folded in and 2 with them on the outside. And I did have to cut them down a bit because they were originally much too long for the envelopes. I then added an envelope. I added a botanical book page from an encyclopedia book that I've got. I then folded 2 coffee sheets in 3 to give me that shape. I folded 2 in half with the middle bit inside, not in half, but I folded them different to this one because you can see this one is much wider and I've got it on the outside, and that one's narrower and on the inside. And then I folded 2 just in half and cut them off lengthways. And then the other 2, I folded the bottom up and folded them in half to make pockets. So they are what I'm going to build my signature 1, and I'm going to do exactly the same to build signature 2. Okay, and these are obviously all the papers ready to do that with for signature 2. But today I wanted to work on A, some tags, and B, some page decoration. So we've all made tags lots and lots and lots of times, but I wanted to try and do something a little bit different today. So using a standard piece of card, this is 300 gram, it's very thick and I love it. And then using my tag template, which I showed a month or so ago now, I'm going to mark out my tags. So by marking there and there, and in this V here, didn't do that very straight, did I? But to be honest, I'm going to use my normal card to trim these. That's more to get a straight line. And then there and there, and that gives us a thin bit that we can use. And then if I take my scalpel and my metal ruler, I can trim off on that line there. And we can use that later on for something else. I can then line all of the diamond points up, and I can cut down there. And then if you're not happy that you can cut in a straight line, you could always use a T-square. If you're not good at straight lines, a T-square is a godsend. They don't cost a lot of money, a couple of pounds, but they will be your best friend, because you line up on the end and it's just always straight because you've got that security of that T. Okay. And then obviously I don't want to cut on that because it's plastic, so I'll just bring back the metal ruler, and I find it the easiest way to get 6 tags out of a piece of card. It's the most cost effective. They are slightly smaller than I used to make. I used to always make them 3 by 6, whereas these ones are 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. But you know, it's fine. If you particularly want bigger ones, then obviously you can cut bigger ones. I just did this as a cost-effective way to get, you know, the most tags out of a piece of A4. You can tell I'm struggling to pick these up. This mat is quite sticky. It needs a good wash. Okay, get rid of the scalpel before we chop our fingers off. There we go. Okay, now you have seen me quite a few times recently. Yeah, this mat is really dirty. Let's see if this one is a bit cleaner, because it's leaving, look, residue on my tags, which I don't really want. So we will use those dirty sides for decoration and save the nice sides. You will have seen me quite a lot recently, if you follow me, doing ombre tags with ink and splatter. Now, excuse me, I appreciate we all have different things. If you don't have inks to do this, then obviously you could use paper from the kit, or you could do coffee dyed paper, and then just do some stamping on it or whatever. So you can see I've got brown swirls going on there, and I'm deliberately trying to do different areas. So that was the distressed walnut stain, and that's the oxide, and then this is honey in the distressed ink. I'm just gonna bring the honey through. Like so. Really, really simple. Just making interesting tags, we hope. And then I was rummaging through my stamps drawer, and I discovered that I'm lucky enough to have some lovely bee stamps in the hexagons, and then also a bee and some wording. So I'm going to use them for my tag, because obviously they match my cover. Okay, and now I'm going to go in with this much brighter yellow. So we've got that lovely mottled tag, and then I'm going to stamp on it in black, and I'm hoping that the 2 yellows and the brown with the black stamping will be very bee-like. That's my plan anyway. So how are you? What have you been up to? Right, so we've got all 3 of those done now, and I'm going to come away from my digiprints up there, and I'm just going to drop some water on these. And you'll see that the water starts to activate the oxide ink. Yeah, If I'm not happy that I've got enough, then I can squirt into my hand and just drib on to there. Okay, wipe my hands down my jeans, that's what usually happens. And then I'll set them to one side so that they can do their work and dry off a little bit while we work on the page decorations. So I have cut out 2 of these, well 4 actually, but 2 in black and 2 in craft card. These photo frame things, everybody was using them a little while ago. I want to try and use mine in a slightly different way. I want to try and use them as pockets. Now I'm going to use some of these pictures. These are from Tracy Fox. It's the Family Ties kit. And then I've got these ones that are from Tailor-Made Journals. And I believe these are called Vintage Ladies. Vintage, they can't be ladies because there's men in them. Vintage Photos, something like that. But they're definitely by Lorna. And I am going to have this soldier. I love this picture, I use it a lot. So I'm going to have that soldier in the black, and then I'm going to have this little boy with, I'm sorry about the noise in the street, some people are just too lazy to get out their cars and knock on the door. We'll have this little boy with his, what's that, a yacht? So we've got that one and that one, and then from here I'm going to have her and him. Now if you haven't got this die that cuts these, oh I've got water on that, look, or I'll spray, and I knew I would. You can very simply, let's do one and show you. You can very simply, I mean this is obviously a bit too narrow, but you can take a piece of card like this, you can fold it in half so you know what you're working with, okay? Press it down, and then in here I'm going to use my ruler. I'm so sorry, and I'm looking for the same amount of space there as I've got here, so come to about there, and then I'm going to come down so I've got the same amount at the bottom, and then I'm going to come across there like that. It sounds like a child's toy now rather than somebody too lazy to knock, but anyway. And then if you just, whoops, you just, oh for goodness sake, I don't think I went far enough. If you cut that out, then you will have a cardboard frame oh, what have I done? Missed that corner. You'll have a cardboard frame with a cut-out centre, in exactly the same way as you've got here, really. I mean, okay, this is a bit more decorative, but it's going to work in exactly the same way, because you're going to pop your photo in there, and there you go. You got your framed photo, and obviously you could stamp that and all sorts. So really simple. If you haven't got one of these dies, you can still, you know, do this. This particular one that I've got, it came from Sample. Well, I think it actually comes from Creative Connections, but it's a design by Sample. Okay, so I've got my 4 photos, but what I want to do is, as much as I am going to put them in, normally you'd put them in and then there's a little like divot in the corner there, so you could punch a hole, put it on a string or a chain and use it as like a dangle or whatever. I want to make mine into little pockets or tuck spots, so I'll show you how I'm going to do it. I'm going to take this, I'm going to pop my picture in there. I knew it was going to be too big, I just didn't know where and how. So there you go, that's him in there like that, and I just think that looks lovely. So we'll do the same with her, but we'll pop her into a black one and we'll pop her the other way round. Yeah, so that's them 2. And then in my other 2, whoops, I've got the little boy with his toy, and again that's much too big, so I'm going to cut there and there. Let's see how we get on with that. And then just to trim off the top so that he fits in there. And you'll notice that I'm deliberately turning them round so they're like mirror images, because this one I did this way, so the wide bit was on the left, and this time I got the wide bit on the right. Okay. And I'm going to do the same with Mr. Soldier. Get rid of all these bits and pieces. Need it that way. And that's going to go. Oh, now Boo's got the ump because they're making too much noise in the street. I do apologise. It's a very noisy video today, isn't it? And that sounds like postman now as well. Just a second.